Picture this. You wake up every morning with a clear sense of direction. You know what needs to be done, and even when obstacles arise, you stay focused. This isn't just wishful thinking. It's something the Stoics practiced every day, and it's key to developing the discipline you want in life. But how do we build that level of discipline? It all begins with understanding why discipline matters to you. Marcus Aurelius believed that before taking any action, we must understand our purpose. Ask yourself, why do you want to be disciplined? Is it to improve your career, strengthen your relationships, or perhaps it's about becoming healthier, both mentally and physically? Take a moment to reflect on this. The more specific your reason, the stronger your discipline will become. Without this understanding, discipline will feel like a burden rather than a tool. Write it down if you need to. Think deeply about it. When the why becomes clear, you'll naturally find more energy to follow through on the how. Once you've got that clarity, break things down. The Stoics didn't overwhelm themselves with huge, impossible goals. Instead, they believed in taking things one step at a time. Seneca said, "Well-being is attained by little and little, and nevertheless is no little thing itself." This applies perfectly to habit building. Start small. If your goal is to read more, don't aim for an hour of reading every day right off the bat. Instead, commit to 5 or 10 minutes. Small, consistent actions compound over time. If you try to do too much too soon, you'll burn out. Remember, consistency over intensity. The important part is showing up every day, not the scale of the task. Another important step is creating a routine. Epictetus said that we should train ourselves like athletes train for a sport. They don't leave practice to chance. They have a structured regimen. Your habits are no different. Think of one area of your life where you'd like more discipline. Now, create a simple daily routine around it. Let's say you want to get better at writing. Instead of leaving it to when I feel like it, set a specific time each day, even if it's only for 15 minutes. It could be in the morning, right after your coffee, or at night before bed. Make it automatic. Don't wait for the motivation to appear. The Stoics believed that routines keep us from relying on fleeting feelings. On some days, you won't feel like sticking to your habit. This is where the power of routine helps you overcome resistance, as it turns your goals into something you do without thinking. And this leads us to the next key: reflection. Marcus Aurelius, every night, would review his actions from the day. He would ask himself questions like, did I act according to my values today? Did I do the things I set out to do? In modern terms, this is like a daily self-check-in. Every evening, or even at the end of your workday, ask yourself, did I stick to the habits I wanted to build? Did I make progress? The point isn't to criticize yourself if you fell short. Instead, it's to learn. If you didn't stick to your plan, why not? Was the task too difficult? Did something unexpected come up? When you reflect consistently, you'll start to see patterns in your behavior. You'll notice what pulls you off track, and you'll find solutions to stay on course. Over time, this reflection turns into self-awareness, which is essential for strengthening discipline. But remember, discipline doesn't mean deprivation. One of the misconceptions about discipline is that it's about being hard on yourself. The Stoics practiced moderation. They didn't believe in extremes. Instead, they taught that we should live in balance, not denying ourselves pleasure, but also not indulging to the point of losing control. When you set out to build a habit, think about balance. If you want to get fit, that doesn't mean you need to exercise for hours every day and cut out every treat. It's about creating habits that are sustainable over the long term. If your habit feels like a punishment, it won't last. Start by giving yourself manageable tasks. If you're building the habit of eating healthier, maybe you start by cutting out one unhealthy snack a day, rather than overhauling your entire diet in one go. Let discipline build gradually. The Stoics remind us that moderation leads to mastery. Now, let's move on to something that can help you stay disciplined even when life gets in the way: self-reliance. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This means that, at the end of the day, no one else can keep you disciplined. You need to take responsibility for your habits and your actions. It's easy to blame external factors, our busy schedules, the stress of work, or other people's demands. But true discipline comes when you accept that, no matter what happens, you are in control of how you respond. In moments of chaos or distraction, remind yourself that you hold the power to choose your reaction. If something throws you off track one day, don't wait for conditions to be perfect again. Instead, reset and keep going. This means cultivating a mindset that embraces flexibility. Life will always have unexpected twists, but your discipline doesn't have to waver. Rely on yourself, not external motivation. Don't wait for someone to push you or for the perfect conditions to arrive. When you take ownership of your own progress, discipline becomes a personal commitment, not something you're trying to force yourself into. This self-reliance fosters resilience. It's about finding your inner strength and understanding that your journey is uniquely yours. You have the tools within you to succeed, and that belief is the cornerstone of lasting discipline. Another valuable practice for building discipline comes from the Stoic concept of taking action in the present. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself not to dwell on the past or worry too much about the future. He would say, "Do what needs to be done now." This advice is powerful because it anchors us in the present moment, a place where real change happens. Often we get overwhelmed thinking about all the tasks ahead. This can paralyze us, leading to inaction and frustration. Instead of letting that overwhelm stop you, focus on what you can do right now. If you're trying to build a habit of practicing a new skill, don't think about how long it will take to master it. Instead, ask yourself, what can I do today? This small shift in focus helps you tackle tasks with clarity and intention. Remember that discipline is not something you master overnight. It's a process that unfolds over time, and throughout that process, you will encounter setbacks. The Stoics taught us not to be discouraged by failure. Seneca wisely said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This perspective encourages us to view challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. If you miss a day or slip on your habit, don't give up. Each stumble is part of your learning curve. Reflect on what went wrong, adjust your approach, and move forward. This is where true discipline is forged, not in moments of perfection, but in how you respond to challenges. Each time you reset and recommit, you're reinforcing your discipline muscle, making it stronger and more resilient. So, how can you start today? Find your purpose. Reflect deeply on why you want to build discipline. What do you hope to achieve, and why does it matter to you? This clarity will serve as your motivation during tough times. Start small. Pick one habit and break it into manageable steps. Focus on consistent, achievable actions rather than overwhelming yourself with grand goals. Create a routine. Set a specific time and place for this habit every day. Make it as automatic as possible so it becomes part of your daily life. Reflect daily. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I stick to my plan? If not, why? Use this reflection to course correct and maintain your momentum. Focus on balance. Remember, discipline isn't about extremes. Build habits you can maintain over time, allowing room for flexibility. Rely on yourself. Take full responsibility for your progress. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Just start now, using whatever resources you have at hand. Act in the present. Don't get lost in future outcomes. Concentrate on what needs to be done today, and let those small actions accumulate into significant change. By following these steps, you're not just developing discipline. You're building a foundation for a more meaningful, controlled, and fulfilling life. Stoicism teaches that discipline isn't just a tool for success. It's a way of living with intention and purpose every day. If this resonates with you, Make sure to hit subscribe, and let's continue exploring the ways Stoicism can transform your life, one habit at a time.